So if you hear anything moving around, it's that. I don't know what it is with cats and that thing. Yeah, there he goes. He's falling over. All right. Um, Preview for tonight's Canada versus Russia game. Um, this is actually a pretty simple one to preview because these countries have a natural rivalry, and as much as people would have enjoyed seeing North America against Canada, there's a hatred that should come out in the game between Canada and Russia that probably wouldn't have come out between North America and Canada. Not only that, but I think that in terms of potential meltdowns, I think Team North America, due to its age, would have had more potential for a meltdown than the Russians. And yet, the Russians have had the history recently of coming up a little bit short. So, in tonight's game, I would expect Canada to win. I would probably expect it to be like 4-2, maybe 5-3. Although, Carey Price allowing 3 goals isn't very likely. It's possible. I would expect Ovechkin to have a good game, but I've said that before. And in terms of where these teams are at, the Russians need this victory more than the Canadians, but man, the Canadians are just so strong and so good. And, Canada seems to want to win this on home ice, and good on them. I expect a good, hard-fought game, probably a lot of hitting. And I have a funny feeling that my cat's having more of a challenge with this than the Canadians should with the Russians. Okay, Shadow, you got your audience. Come on, talk to the people. He's such a diva. I got Link over here who's like I'd like to play with that, but that would involve movement. So he's not gonna play. Anyways, but yeah, so Canada Russia should be I'm editing players right now. Canada Russia should be a win for Canada, and it should be not in any kind of danger from moment one. The Russians, if they're going to win this, they need to get a lead. They need to get a lead early. If Canada's going to win this, they just have to be Canada. It's really pretty simple. I'm also talking to my girlfriend here, but for Canada, it's their game to lose. It really is. They've been so dominant in this tournament that for them to beat the Russians, it should be, as a fait accompli would be the term. But I'm not going to say that because this is hockey that he has played at a higher level, and the Russians are capable of being better than they've been so far in the tournament. And Ovechkin is capable of a good game, like a great game, really. If he can avoid being a jerk, then, good on him. It's a big if with Ovechkin, though, isn't it? So we'll see. We'll see if he can avoid whining and crying and yelling at the referee. There'll be less of that now in the tournament now that the Americans are out, to be honest. Although there are still Canadians who are capable of that as well. I'm not going to be a homer here. Definitely Corey Perry is willing and able to do that, and Ryan Getzlaf will whine his way to a referee if he can. And yeah, it should be fun. Now the Sweden Team North America game, this is a mismatch. Team Europe, I'm not going to say they got lucky because that's kind of shortchanging what they did, but let's take a look at what they did. They took advantage of an American team that clearly wasn't ready. They took advantage of an American team that came into this tournament seemingly built for Canada. And it reminds me of 4 years ago when the Canucks were built to play the Bruins, but they weren't built for anybody else. So the Americans were built to beat Canada, couldn't beat Canada, but they couldn't beat anybody else either. and then Europe took full advantage. Europe then beat the Czechs in overtime, and Europe followed that up by getting handled by Canada. Now they're against Sweden, who is the second best team in this tournament, and I can't see them beating Sweden. I really can't. Which would lead to a Sweden-Canada final. Now, if I had to call the score, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game between Sweden and the Europe because Sweden chokes the life out of every game they're in. I say a 2-1 win, maybe 2-0, but I can't see there being more than 3 goals in this game. So if you're going to bet on the game, bet on the under on the score. I'm guessing the over-under will probably be 5 goals. I'd take the under. But yeah, there's really not a whole lot else to say about it. I'm going out for the day again with the girlfriend because that's what you do. But I thought I would upload a video today where I made my predictions for the semifinals. I will be home to watch Canada-Russia today. At the very least, I will be somewhere to watch Canada-Russia today. I will make sure that I see it. Until Canada's up like 2-0 and it's obvious Carey Price isn't going to allow 2 goals, and then I can just, watch something else. But yeah, I will definitely be interested to see what happens from here. There's no Dallas Stars can get hurt in this game that I know of. If by some chance 3 or 4 Dallas Stars that are watching from the stands get hurt, I will start discussing this as a conspiracy theory, that this entire tournament was set up just to weaken Dallas, and not one shot to take out Kerry Leighton or Antti Niemi. I think that right there proves it's kind of a, yeah, you could say, well, they played Tuukka Rask and they played Pekka Rinne. They didn't even have Niemi and Leighton in the net. Isn't that convenient for Finland? Isn't that convenient? That they just happen to not play the crappy goalies, and they lose anyways. So, Rask looked better than Rinne, but, throw Leighton in there, throw Niemi in there. Come on, you guys can play 4 goalies. It's fine. Play them both at the same time. I really don't think it'll make a difference. But anyways, yeah, so that's my prediction. Canada-Sweden final, which will be Tuesday night. And then from there, and then we'll go from there. And then starting on Friday this coming week, I will start accepting your teams for the hockey pool, and you can either send them to me on Twitter, or I will provide an email address to send them to. It'll be my own email address because it's not that private, and it's not that big a deal. I'll just make a folder and rules about where all the teams go, and then we'll go from there. I'll probably go old school and just have an Excel spreadsheet because I'm old school that way. Yeah, Excel spreadsheets. That's right, boys and girls. And then I'll just I can make it a Google Doc that's available online and edit it from there. But yeah, so this is going to be a fun ending to the tournament, and we'll see where it goes from there. And for people who've wondered with the hockey pool, like, oh, well, what if everybody's tied? Yeah, I'm just going to have it where when you guys send me your teams, just tell me who's going to lead the NHL in assists. Because that is a stat, like goal leaders, everybody's going to go, oh, there's only 2 or 3 guys who can do it. Assists, there's probably at least 10 guys that can do it. So the odds of somebody having the exact same team with the exact same points and predict the same guy is going to lead the league in assists, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to worry about ties. And then, there is some skill in picking who's going to lead the league in assists. Could it be Joe Thornton? Could it be Henrik Sedin? Could it be Erik Karlsson? Could it be Kuznetsov? Could it be Backstrom? Who's going to play with Ovechkin? One of the two, right? So one of the two could easily get 60 assists this year. Yeah, it's a lot of guys. So anyways, could be Mike Ribeiro. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Anyways, thanks for watching. I will be online again later to do a review of the game between Russia and Canada. And I had fun with my game this morning. I hope you guys enjoy the streams with the NHL 17 game. And I'll continue doing those because they are fun. And I'll make sure I do at least a game or 2 every day. I might even cheat and do 3 and just split it up into different streams so you guys who don't want to watch every game can just skip to the last stream and see where the team's at. But I tell you, now that the team's 1-1 and 2, those loser points are coming in handy for the team I've put together. I hate that. Anyways, I forgot when I set up the league to take the loser point out. I normally do, and in this file I didn't, and it's humiliating. All right, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you all again soon.